Willkommen, bienvenue, welcome one and all to another one of my live streams. I'm very pleased to have in the virtual studio a friend of mine called Sian Faire, who is a business operations manager for hire. Effectively, she will streamline and ensure that your business runs like a top. But today we're going to be talking about a tricky subject, a subject that some people find hard to contemplate, and that's going to be part of our discussion today. We're going to talk about outsourcing, what it is, why it's relevant. Is it for you? Is it for anyone? Why should they do it? And what does it consist of? Sian, welcome.
Thank you. Thank you very much. What a wonderful introduction. Yeah, I'm really it's a subject that I'm really passionate about, outsourcing, because it's really it's the way to do your business the most efficiently
Yeah,
without.
but I think where the problem lies is a lot of people are scared of letting go of something they feel they should do themselves, without remembering that, of course, there's only so much of them to go around.
Yeah. Sorry. I think the thing is that when we start out, we do everything, but in order to be efficient, effective, eventually there's things that aren't in our skill set. There's things that we're doing that maybe we don't enjoy doing, we're not particularly good at doing, and everybody in this world is different. And just because one person isn't good at doing something, that doesn't mean someone else isn't. So it's really pooling resources. In a bigger company, everyone does is more focused on what they do. But
Right.
when you're a startup, you do everything, but that isn't sustainable long term.
Yeah, it's a problem when it comes to scaling, isn't it? Really, you can't really scale a business which is entirely based around one element. I mean, it's my mission this year to try and make myself, as far as I can, redundant. So, in other words, I beginning of the year, I remember January, I decided to write down all the jobs that I perform in the company. I came up with 16 different effective roles that I cover. And since that time, through bringing on people and so on, and taking on an external resource or two, I've reduced that down to only 11. So I'm going to try and reduce it down to one or two so that I just do, for instance, promoting the business. However, a lot of people find it difficult to relinquish control, don't they?
Yeah, I think it is a scary idea. I mean, we like when we start off, we do everything, and everything is like in our control, and it's our baby. And
Yeah.
it's that thought of like letting someone else look after our baby. I mean, God, gosh, my son is now 14, but that whole, like having maternity leave, and like we talk about our business is like our baby. Well, like I was on maternity leave for a year, and it was really scary, the thought of somebody else looking after my child for like for a few days a week, so I could go back to my role. And it is really like that. You like speak to different people, you see who you get on with, like you say, you identify. Like, probably the first thing I would recommend, like you say, write a list of all the things that you do in your business, then look at what you like doing, what you're good at doing, and pick something that you feel is going to be the easiest to let go of. Maybe it's even maybe something that you should be doing that you're not doing.
Right.
So take, maybe for instance, you're not doing as much on social media as you'd like to be.
Right.
Well, if that's something that you really are uncomfortable doing, why not look at bringing someone in to help you with it? And that maybe because you're not doing any of it already, it's an easier thing to bring someone in because you're not actually giving anything up because you weren't doing it. So
Well,
maybe,
okay. Well, I hear this a lot. I hear this a lot. So I'm going to try and play devil's advocate.
yeah, great.
How do you know if they're any good? I mean, there's so many people out there offering social media. How do I find a person that do this thing that I hate?
So, my advice, I'm in several different business networks, and one I've been in for over 6 years. So you can imagine I've built really good relationships with the people in that network that have been there for a few years.
Right.
And so when I'm looking to find someone to do something for me, I speak to people in my network. If there isn't someone in my network already doing the job that I'm looking to get someone to help me with, then I speak to the people that I trust to see if they know someone in their extended network. And in the business that I do, I bring on people that I trust. So if I came into someone's business and identified that there were different roles that needed to be filled, I would find people from my network, from my trusted network, to fill those roles. So it takes away a good amount of the risk because you're actually dealing with people that are known and respected. If you don't have a network at all, then it's things like looking at testimonials, probably delving a little bit deeper because testimonials may or may not be as good as we think they are. For me, it's definitely personal recommendation is the way to go. That gives you the highest level of trust as
I
quickly as
would say
possible.
that though, I would say don't just look at how qualified or how much experience they had. You need to be able to work with these people. You
Yeah, yeah, personality is really important. When I definitely work with I work with a lot of different people. You speak to people, and some people you click with, some people you don't, and that it's really important that you can get on with them because they are going to become an integral part of your business. And so personality, how they work. It's important to ask how they work. It doesn't really matter. It doesn't matter where they are in the world. For example, I although I mainly work with UK businesses, I live in Gran Canaria. Does that affect my work? No, it doesn't. It's really getting the right personalities, people that believe in the same things as you, so that you're working towards the same goals. So ideally, the people that you bring on want to achieve what you want to achieve. So the goals are aligned and you're heading in the same direction
right,
to
right.
build. So you're building long-term relationships.
I think look, relationships are at the core of good business, and when you bring in people to look after your business baby, because that's what it kind of is,
Yeah.
you've got to be able to communicate with them effectively. I'll use a case in point. With a previous business, I brought in someone to oversee a very small part of the operations, which was CV gathering and initial identification. I had no idea that about the way in which they were talking to people, not a clue, until it eventually got back to me and I realized that they were not representing me in the way I wanted to be represented. If I spent some time building a relationship with them, I reckon I would have easily picked up upon that.
Yeah.
But it's got to be with someone that you can communicate effectively with.
Yeah, so I think so, like the onboarding of new people into your business is important to explain how you do business, how you want to be represented if they're customer facing. Obviously, it depends if they're customer facing or like back end and mainly doing operations that the customer doesn't see. So it does depend what sort of role they've got. But yeah, if whatever they're doing, you need to give them guidance. You need to, one of the things that is initially you do need to be there so that they can get to know you if they don't know you already.
Right.
You know, I think outsourcing is likely to fail if you bring someone on and then just leave them to it completely, you
But
know.
that's the common thing. You are so busy yourself, you know, with new business, talking to existing clients and appearing at events and writing talks and maybe writing that book or whatever it is you're doing, and you outsource a portion of your business to somebody else and you let them get on with it. And the poor things, they run off in a certain direction thinking that they've got it, you know, down pat, not realizing that because you didn't have enough time to build that relationship, that they've gone off at 90 degrees to where you actually wanted them to go. You check in with
Yeah.
them a few months later, and to your horror, you find that they've completely missed the mark or something hasn't happened that you expected to happen. And really, the fault was on your side.
Yeah, I think when you bring someone on, initially you do need to have that just that little bit extra time because you have to appreciate that they don't know your business. They need time to learn what you are looking for, what the aims of your business is, how you do things. Obviously, over time, then you will be able to let them get on with things. And obviously, depending on your business, if you bring someone in to manage your team, then you're only dealing with that one person who would be someone like myself. And I would deal with the people that are doing the tasks such as the social media, maybe updating the website, writing, doing like email copy, things like that. So you don't have, you know, initially, yes, there is a little bit of work that needs to be done. You need to allow the time, but that's is it short-term pain for long-term gain? Isn't it that what they say?
Something
That's
like
what,
that.
something like
Something like
that.
that.
Yeah. So yeah.
But I think it's a process, isn't it? You have to build, you have to define your business based on a series of processes, work out which can either be broken down into sub processes, some of which can be outsourced, or maybe tracked different number of those processes could be outsourced. But you're never going to be able to scale your business if it's totally reliant on the productivity of one person. That's a single point of failure. That's an accident waiting to happen. So you know, I come across businesses that have been running for 30 years and nothing can work if that one person's not available. And then that one time in 30 years, they've never been ill. And then one time in 30 years, they can't get into work. And it all grinds to a crashing halt.
I think the other issue with things like that is how do you take holidays? You know, if you're integral to your business, you know, like you need to be able to take holidays. You know, like if you've got family, you need to be able to spend time with the family. Yeah, you know, if your business only functions when you are working, then you are very limited by what you can actually achieve. But
Right.
talking about things like processes, I think a lot of the time the business owner may not really have the processes written down and things like that, and they may have they may still be following processes from maybe 5, 10 years ago, and technology has changed, and there may be other perspectives that can be
Right.
brought in. So that's another thing where you can actually bring in someone to help you work out what the processes are that support your business.
So
So again,
there's a thing. There's a thing somebody once told me, which is that you you know what you know. You know the bits around you that you know. You may even be acutely aware of there are some areas that you don't know.
yeah,
but it takes a specialist or people from the outside to tell you what you had no idea that you didn't know.
Yeah, I think the thing is we're so involved in our own businesses that
Right.
we can't see the wood for the trees. Is that another? We're going to get some sayings in today, aren't
Yeah,
we?
you are.
But, that's it.
You got to look before
Yeah,
you leap. You got to.
yeah. But you're so involved. You're so
Run it up
right
the
in there.
flagpole and see who salutes
Yeah.
it. Yeah, absolutely.
But
Yeah.
no, you're right in there. You're right. You're doing it. You're living it. You're breathing it. You've been doing that for many years, and so getting an outside perspective, a fresh pair of eyes looking at your business can be really, really beneficial. It can bring up ideas that you'd never even thought of. So potentially bringing ideas in from different industries. So
Right.
for example, I did an engineering degree. I was sponsored and worked in manufacturing each of my summers. I then went and worked for a large UK corporate business, British Telecom, worked there for 7 years, so got a perspective from there. I've been a personal trainer. I've had my own business as a swimming instructor, yoga and Pilates studio. I've worked for the NHS in
Jesus.
project management. Yeah, all these different things. And I've worked for Cardiff University for one of the schools. So all that different experience brings a new perspective when you look at a business, because you can see it from many different ways. You're not just blinkered to one approach because you've been exposed to many different scenarios.
All right. Look, I'm going to wind this up. I think that the one thing we can say, I'm going to give you my perspective, then I want you to summarize our position.
Yeah.
So, my perspective is, as a business owner, you're not going to be great at everything. I know some people seem to be very great at a lot of things, but I guarantee you're not going to be great at everything. And moreover, your business will never grow beyond a certain amount if it all relies on you. So, therefore, one of the first things you should be doing is almost breaking down all the different facets of your business, all the different processes involved, work out which, as Sian says, you're prepared to relinquish to someone who's potentially better at doing it than you are, certainly that would free up more of your time. You want to move yourself away from that and perhaps focus on doing the parts that you really enjoy. Sian, give me a summary of our position, and then we'll wind this up for today.
Yeah, so outsourcing is absolutely key. It's key to get the right people in, so that you can focus on serving your clients and doing the parts of the business that you are passionate about.
Right,
That's really
right.
what it is.
Because otherwise, you know what? I tell you what, you guys out there who thinking it's always marvelous working your business, there'll be times late at night on a Sunday where you've got this all important thing coming up on the Monday you feel unprepared for, or whatever it is, and you're going to say, I really don't enjoy this anymore. Well, if that's the case, perhaps there is parts you enjoy, but just not that bit. Maybe you should be looking to outsource the production of your slide decks, or your day-to-day management of your calendar, or whatever it is. Find the bits that you really don't enjoy. Find trusted human beings who can make that happen for you, and get back to find that joy in your business. Sian, it's been an absolute pleasure chatting to you today. Guys, watch out. Sian and I are going to be talking regularly. There'll be a common theme. It will be about how to get business operations better, but we will be infusing that with a bit of personal experience, some actual expertise, and there'll probably be tips and tricks along the way. So do watch out for that. Sian, absolute pleasure. Looking forward to all the future ones. And until next week, please remember that life is a journey, and it is 1,000 steps. So just keep going step by step, and try and remember to maintain your mental health wherever possible. Thank you, and until next